This is a constitutional amendment. It's number 49. It proposes an amendment to the general provisions article of the Illinois Constitution pertaining to pension benefits. There are three parts to the amendment. Part number one is concerned with the legislature, and it provides that any bill before the legislature which provides a benefit increase must be approved by a 3/5 vote of the members of each chamber of the General Assembly. If the governor vetoes the bill, that veto may be overridden, or the changes proposed by an amendatory veto may be accepted only by a vote of 2/3 of the members of each chamber. So at initial passage stage, a bill requires 3/5. If there is an amendatory veto, it requires 2/3 for adoption. A benefit increase is defined as a change to law that results in a member of a pension or retirement system receiving a new benefit or an enhancement to an existing benefit. This includes expanding the class of persons who may be eligible to receive a pension or annuity. An increase in salary or wages alone does not necessarily constitute a benefit increase. The General Assembly may, by law, establish what is considered to be an excessive salary increase. Part two is concerned with local governments and provides that any ordinance, resolution, rule, or other action of a governing body of a local government that provides an emolument increase that has the effect of increasing the amount of pension or annuity that an official or employee could receive must be approved by 3/5 members of that governing body. An emolument increase is defined as meaning the creation of a new or enhancement of an existing advantage, profit, or gain that an official or employee receives by virtue of holding office or employment. This applies to bonuses, incentives, or other forms of compensation. Number three is concerned with actions taken by boards of pension systems. And it provides that any action of a governing body of a public pension or retirement system that results in a beneficial determination must be approved by 3/5 of the members of the governing board. A beneficial determination means an interpretation or an application of law made by the governing body of any public pension or retirement system that that reverses or supersedes a previous interpretation or application and results in either an increase in the amount of pension or annuity received by a member of the system or in a person becoming eligible to receive a pension. I think that during today's meeting, and as we move forward, you'll hear some people in the Capitol building say, this is real tough medicine. Well, it is. It's intended to be tough medicine because a review of actions of the legislature and governors over the last several years, take your pick on the number of years, say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, take your pick. But the record would say, we need this medicine. We need this medicine. And a comment or a complaint that I've heard already is that this would make it more difficult to improve the Tier 2 benefit level, which is now in place all across the state. Well, that's the intent of the amendment. That's why I'm here. That's the intent. Because we have created a Tier 2 level, but already we've had different people in groups saying we have to change that. We have to make that better. And so my point would be, well, if there's an interest or a desire to make Tier 2 better, get a 3/5 vote here or wherever it happens. That's the essence of the amendment. I would
Thank you.
appreciate an aye vote.
Thank you. I'd like to add Representative May and Representative Morrison to the roll, and let me read the witness slips into the record. Letitia DeWitt Anderson with the Northwest Municipal Conference is no position on the merits, record of appearance only. Mark Donahue, Chicago Fraternal Order of Police, is an opponent, oral testimony if needed. Jason Keller is with the AFL-CIO is an opponent, record of appearance only. William Potts with the SEIU Local 73 is an opponent, record of appearance only. Linda Brookhart, State University's Annuitants Association, is an opponent, record of appearance only. Bacola Bello with the Retired Teachers Association of Chicago, opponent, record of appearance only. John Cameron with AFSCME Council 31, opponent, record of appearance only. Will Lovett with IEA, an opponent, oral testimony. Letitia DeWitt Anderson with McLean County is an opponent, record of appearance only. Dick Lockhart, State University's Annuitants Association, is an opponent, oral testimony. Mike McCreary, United Counties Council of Illinois, is a proponent, record of appearance only. Kip Kolkmeyer with the Illinois Library Association is a proponent, record of appearance only. Joe McCoy with the IML is a proponent, record of appearance only. Michelle Kelm, DuPage Mayors and Managers, proponent, record of appearance only. Derek Blada, Cook County and Cook County Forest Preserve District, proponent, record of appearance only. Billy Glunn, City of Chicago, proponent, record of appearance only. One more sheet. Dave Bennett with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus is a proponent, record of appearance only, and the following are all opponents. Henry Bear, AFSCME Council 31, oral testimony. Jeff Crabtree with the Teamsters, record of appearance only. Nick Yelverton with the Illinois Federation of Teachers, record of appearance only. Sean Smoot, Police Benevolent and Protective Association, record of appearance only. William Perkins, SEIU Illinois Council, record of appearance only. Deirdre Darnell with the Laborers Midwest Region, record of appearance only. Andrew Bodavies with the FOP Labor Council, record of appearance only, and Dan Nelson, Fraternal Order of Police, record of appearance only. With your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, why don't we hear from the opponents, and then we'll take questions from members. Or Representative Poe, did you want to go ahead?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This quick question is, and we all know probably the reason we're here is on account of runaway liability and pension systems. Is that motivation? I guess, why don't we, or why couldn't we, whenever we also ought to have a 3/5 vote whenever we talk about, because in the last 10 years that I've seen, we pension holidays, we cut pensions. Why don't we make sure we have those votes 3/5 also before we could have a pension holiday and cut in the budget, which we did a good job last year, and I think we're intending on doing it good this year. But it also would make it, I think, a lot stronger and holding that liability if we could do something like that.
First time I've heard the idea. I don't have a quick opposition thought. I'm not opposed to it right away. I'd like to think about it a little bit. But if you're saying let's make it harder to take a pension holiday, I agree.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say, because that's why we're in the shape I think we're in today, is some of the things we did. And I guess also concerned about when we diminish benefits and those kind of things. We can do that with a simple majority, but we can't increase them unless we have a 3/5 is what you're saying here too, right?
Well, unless you consider the constitutional language, which would say that you can't diminish the benefits for those that have vested.
Right, current employees. Anything Tier 2 is different, so thank you.
Representative Durkin.
Mr. Speaker, I have more of a procedural question. I haven't read the bill in its entirety, but I'm looking at the analysis, and the way it's been presented is that when a bill, ordinance, or a resolution is deemed to increase a benefit, who is responsible for deeming that there is a benefit increase? Because, you know, we go through these home rule questions, and the parliamentarian is the one who ultimately makes that decision. Do we have a process in place in which, whether it's an agency or someone else, will make that decision?
I'd like Heather to answer that question.
It would be a determination made by that body. So for the General Assembly, if there were a parliamentary inquiry, it would be the parliamentarian. And for units of local government, it would be up to that unit of local government to make that determination.
So, I mean, I guess it would be a last-minute thing when we're on the floor, which we'll have to make that call of whether or not there's going to be a 3/5 vote necessary for this bill, correct?
Yes, but I mean, for the most part, you can, if you read a bill, if you look at the bill and the bill appears to increase a benefit, add a class, or change an existing benefit to the benefit of annuitants, you would assume that it would be a 3/5 vote.
Do we have a pension note or something which, we have millions of notes in which we
We do not.
We do not. I'm just wondering if there's maybe a way which we can streamline that process a little bit earlier and where we can get a determination ahead of time before we're on third reading of whether or not the ordinance or whatever we are passing is going to result in an increase. It seems to me just laying it up to the last minute and making a decision
Right.
could be a bit challenging.
I'm not going to speak to how many times these things happen, but I know that there are questions here that relate to the vote count needed to pass a bill. And speaking for myself and the people that work with me, why we generally know well in advance where there will be such a question. Conceal and carry is a good example. We know.
All right.
I think everybody knows.
All right, well, I just wanted to just throw it out there just as something to think about, because we're allowing someone to deem whether or not there is an increase. I have just one more question. We chose January 9th, 2013 as the date, the effective date. That date, maybe a council might be able to address that. I'm not sure what date.
Just to provide a phase-in period, that's all.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Representative Winters.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Since I've been subbed in for the committee, I appreciate the indulgence. Do you know of any vote history where where pension sweeteners would have failed if this vote had been in, vote requirement had been in place?
I don't have any that I can offer you at this minute. Part of my reason for offering this amendment is my observation of this over several years.
Many years.
Right. Let's be careful now.
You're the one that brought it 40 years, so.
And I would simply say, from my observation, this is a good thing to have in place.
Well, it seemed in my recollection in many fewer years that many of these sweetener votes go out with 90 or 100 votes, that they're very popular. But I think what you're trying to do is make the General Assembly pay closer attention and realize that they're taking a serious step, and that's the requirement for the 60% vote.
That'd be part of it. Plus, if there is one person or a small group that wishes to work against the pension sweetener, you've advantaged them in what they're attempting to do.
Absolutely. Thank you.